Good afternoon, free enterprise fans. We are here to kick off this last day of races on in the Lali-Ho Swiss section of the league. We do technically have one day left, but I don't believe we've got anything particularly going on tomorrow. So let's go. Hey, it's the last day. And what a day we have here. What do you think of this?
Boy, there is a lot to unpack on this screen here right now, Dnarii. That Edward start could mean things get really dicey here in the early game as the runners struggle to find a way to deal damage. It's going to be very dependent on that second character. I really like this character hunt here. Get Cecil, get Rydia. These are two characters that are very, very heavily based on what kind of equipment you can get. Cecil really wants one of those really strong endgame melee weapons. Rydia really wants one of those incredibly useful summons, Leviathan Bahamut for damage, Sylph for mid-range damage and healing. So yeah, this is where this Wildish flag set can really shine here and kind of define how our runners are going to approach this seed.
Yeah, this could be really interesting. I think, we've seen a lot of Cecil over the course of the tournament. We're seeing a lot of, loose Kiana rewards, providing that wonderful crystal sword, which just turns him into a blender. Rydia is a lot more situational. If she comes in late, she may just be an anchor. What I'm also seeing here is an Edward start, which is potentially very interesting. He is, of course, very, quite weak to start out. Never gets inherently too strong. But we do have the last hurrah of the spoon flag. If we get a spoon, he will be, nearly as good as Cecil with that crystal sword. The other thing, too, among other items that Edward could start out with is a dancing dagger, which will really help with early bosses if he has one.
Yeah, that dancing dagger is one of the key items you can find to making Edward useful, doing a couple hundred damage a pop. But we have started. We're underway. Let's see who we're going to be accompanied with. Ooh, it's Rosa. Not a damage powerhouse, but definitely someone you like to see for the long game. And there's a Bahamut for Rydia if she shows up.
Okay, so I think we are prioritizing looking for that Rydia because that is definitely one of those things that will turn her into somebody who's viable all game.
Yeah, I would be stopping in Baron to see who the character is there, heading over to Kaipo, see who that character is, head to Hobbs, check that character. I want to see if Rydia is available early because the earlier I can get her up and running, the earlier I can get her to that MP threshold where she can cast Bahamut, the faster we're going to be able to just crush through this seed.
Yeah, if we can get that up and running, that will just completely wreck a lot of the early game and into the mid game as well. Alternatively, Bahamut sells for a lot, which is a very valid use of that summon, depending on how quick we expect to find that Rydia. Because sometimes they do get buried on this.
Yes, indeed. That's a Porum in Baron Inn. Not a particularly exciting find here since we have Rosa from the beginning. Porum is a perfectly serviceable character, but when you already have Rydia, really very little reason to get excited about Porum being available.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not super enticed by white mages in general. Rosa is, of course, fantastic. She's an incredibly versatile character. But I personally feel like a lot of the game, you're better off just putting your effort into offense, which, you absolutely can do with white mages, but they will take some dedicated work for that.
Yeah, speaking of which, there's an Elven Bow in the back of the Watery Pass for Eykir. That is going to be a significant amount of offense for Rosa. Also helps out her casting a bit, and gives you bonus damage against mage type enemies. So, lot of potential in that bow there.
Yeah. Dnarii on our left finds something very interesting. There is a Fabul gauntlet in the Watery Pass. That is a great find. I'm sure he's super relieved to see that because once you see that in that location, you're never going to have to worry about fighting that. And there's a cursed ring found by both our players in the Damsian Treasury.
Yeah, a little bit of parity from our runners here, and getting that cursed ring is going to be huge. Takes a big weight off your shoulders when it comes to trying to determine how you're going to handle agility anchoring for the end game here. And speaking of parity in both our runners, we should point out that they are both 3-2, so this is an elimination match for both of them. Tournament life on the line. Winner here is going to get a chance at the bracket stage. Loser here, that's going to be the end of the Lali-Ho League for them. So there is a lot at stake here today.
Yeah, like this is a match with a lot of stakes on it. So, I know it's a little bit early for some people to be watching races. So if you're catching this on VOD, I hope you are, because this is a good one.
Getting that Elven Bow on Rosa. Poison arrows are not terrible. Pretty decent attack damage with them. So Rosa should be able to dish out a good amount of damage here with that setup. Not awful on Edward either. Great Bow isn't the best choice of bows, but he is a relatively fast character. What he lacks in individual power, he can make up for getting a couple extra turns here and there.
Yeah, we've got a Mute Knife for him also, which is quite a nice find. That is our Cecil right there.
Yeah, that's an objective. That's your power couple. Now kind of everything else in your party is sort of ancillary when it comes to putting together your ultimate team for the end game. If you've got Rosa and you've got Cecil and they're decently equipped, that's basically your core. You really don't absolutely need anything beyond that.
Yeah, and we've got CPU here, which I am actually pretty happy to find personally. This boss is really annoying in higher tier spots. You cannot take out both the orbs at once, and the back sphere will cast walls. You can't directly cast most spells on it. But right now, we've got a team that starts out entirely back row glitched, except for that Cecil, who wasn't going to contribute much anyway. So
well, you say that, but I saw what I thought was Cecil doing about 160 damage. He might have come equipped with one of the better swords.
Yeah, that could be a black sword. Yeah, if he's going 130 through the back row, that is really good. Oh, that is a darkness sword according to our tracker. So he's just deciding to be like, I can help too.
Yeah, I might have mistaken the damage number for somebody else's, but
yeah. Either way, back row glitched party, and not many hit points here means if you're gonna run into CPU, this is the place for it.
100%. Eykir going over the West Hobs for the extra chest here. You don't usually see this very often unless you have access to that exit spell.
Yeah, but this back section does have a slightly elevated treasure level, so as we can see, we get an Aegis shield, which I think is the best find there. Great shield, got some extra magic defense, and also some status protection, but honestly, I like that magic defense on it a lot.
Yeah, especially when you are getting ready for Zeromus, who only does magic attacks, makes Cecil particularly tanky, or Kane. Can also use it too if he comes across. But yeah, really, really good shield there.
Yeah, even Sid can use it, which can be irrelevant because he doesn't have a lot of, he doesn't have a lot of inherent magic defense just from his stats. So help will help.
Yeah, just a raw bunch of HP is his only magic defense usually. So yeah, Aegis shield really nice. Lunar Staff also really nice when we transitioned Rosa into pure white mage in the late game.
Yeah, that is very nice. Also a power staff there, which can potentially open us up for early berserk options.
Ooh, a lightsaber there in Eykir. I'm not sure if Dnarii grabbed that. Might have skipped that chest. That could be a big edge for Eykir, because that is something that is going to entice and early ordeals, because you want to get that in Paladin Cecil's hands ASAP. Oh, speaking of Cecil.
Yes. Hello, friend. I think we're just gonna sit here and take this, because, yeah, this is, slightly scratching the coats of paint on our armor, but not much else.
Yeah, we are gonna get a nice speech about justice here and be done with it.
I mean, it's not the only right in the world.
It's true. There is also 3 lefts.
It's true. So let's see what our prize for sitting through a little speech is.
Yeah, Eykir fully looting here. I also got a headband, which is a very nice piece of offensive kit. And there's a magma key. No hook route today. We're going right underground.
Yes, very interesting start here. I mean, it's pretty often to see a magma key just because at this location, just because there are only so many early game spots, and there must be underground access in the relative early game. So it's not too surprising, but it is always fun to see it pop up this early, because it can really, this is where you can really start to see early routing divergences, because it really opens up our options.
Yeah, absolutely. Dnarii grabbing one chest on the way out and getting the boomerang. Unfortunately, walking past the lightsaber chest. Gotta hope that he finds some good equipment for Cecil, because that's going to be a big advantage for Eykir right here.
Yeah, I think we will, just the way the key item distribution tends to work, we're pretty likely to find something good. The light spear, the light sword never really fills me with joy. It's the sort of thing you equip because you don't have anything else that's good for him.
Yeah, it's a decent weapon, but it really says a lot about Cecil's kit when there's so many better options available.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very good sword. If he was any other character, you would be thrilled by that. But he is Cecil, and he hits things very hard.
And you were talking about divergence. Here's that divergence fully on display here. Dnarii heading into the underworld. Eykir heading into Fabul.
Yeah, both are very valid options. Dnarii here is going underground first, which I tend to prefer if I get it that early. But honestly, I don't think it's worth it a lot of the time to fade Fabul. It really does not take all that long just to walk in here and walk out, do your fight. Yeah, if you can consolidate your checks like Dnarii is almost certainly going to do, it's, it's better, but it's really not the end of the world to pop in on Fabul early.
Yeah, right you are. Maga Sisters is a very interesting pull here for a boss, since we've got that Elven Bow and that Mute Dagger. They're going to be taking advantage of some type matchups here. You can see really good damage here from Rosa on Cindy. This shouldn't be too rough, though. That the Fire 2 is hitting for a pretty decent chunk.
Yeah, like that will be a bit of a trick, but it should be fine otherwise. There's another light sword.
There we go. Now we don't have to worry about that. Everybody's got a light sword.
Yeah, not the sort I want to see out of a key item check, but it's better than nothing. And there we have a stack of sirens for sale in that Feymarch. Gonna do some of our initial loot unloading on Dnarii's side. And looks like we're going for probably a 10 stack, maybe a little more.
Siren's always a good thing to find early, just so that you don't have that panic about how am I going to get my grind done. Knowing you've got Sirens in play opens up all of the easiest, most straightforward grinds in the game. So you can just sort of worry about progression, boss completion, and knowing that whenever you need to fall back and grind to finish the seed off, you've got those Sirens right there.
We are going to see what the King of Fabul has, and also going to check out this Lunar Sparkle in the Feymarch.
He's a D-Lunar, so good bit of information there for Dnarii. We do know that the Bygone spot is another Lunar Sparkle, so we know something that it isn't sitting there in Baron Castle.
Yeah, that is a pink tail from the Fabul fight, so very important to have done. That is one of our requirements, but we can't do anything with it yet. because we will need a hook to cash that out. So, important but not urgent.
Indeed. Looks like it's time for some shopping here for Eykir, heading over to Silvera.
Yeah, my guess is we are gonna head to Ordeals after this. This is a pretty common just shoot south down this side of the map.
Ninja hat in the grass there. That is a very nice piece of headgear for your melee characters. And Dnarii doing a little bit of looting in Sylph Cave. Little unorthodox.
I've seen it a couple times. You know, if you can get clear chests, there is a lot of good loot to be had here, but the increased density of the trap chests over Feymarch does make it a lot to find anything at all. And it seems like we were just going for that cheeky first pull.
Yep, immediately punished. Not punished too much. Just going to load the save and head right back to take a look at our incapacitated monk and the cute little sylphs.
Yep, said hi to Sleepy Egg.
And dropping a save down here on Ordeals, we're going to get our first look at this gauntlet of 3 bosses here.
Yep, and oh, we're going to get a job dwarf check, baby.
Was that Resource Recovery Engineer?
I wonder what sort of resources he recovers. Could just be a treasure hunter.
Yeah, that's true. That does sound like a euphemism for treasure hunter. That's something I would imagine Locke says that he is. I'm a resource recovery engineer.
Corporate Locke.
Yeah, corporate Locke. Working for Figaro Corps.
Buying some hourglasses down south in Tamra while we deal with Odin up on Mount Ordeals.
Yeah, this is a little troubling because we just don't have an enormous amount of damage output, and this is very much a fight that relies on having a certain TPS threshold. If there is the Zansetsuken, and there is no surviving that.
Yeah, what we really want here is some source of lightning damage just to give us a little more oomph, but Eykir is going right up again.
Yeah, some lit arrows would be fantastic here. Any of the lightning elemental consumables.
I need a moment here. I'm just gonna step away because I just had a cat decide that she wanted to puke up on my desk, so I will just be a minute.
That does indeed happen. Switching out some arrows here, looking for a little more oomph. Not getting quite. We do have a Thor Rage. Let's see how much this is going to do. It is the lowest. Yeah, only getting about 400 from there. Just not really having the kind of power you would hope you would have for this fight here. Still sticking to it, though. If there's the sword up, which means we are running out of time. Throwing out the lit bolts. That is the HP-based one. Not quite enough. Can we pull it off? A crit. Timely. Got it. Nice job, Eykir. Right down to the wire. A few clutch crits. And gets through. That could be huge because that is the gatekeeper to a Paladin Cecil that we have some really decent equipment for right now. And that is Dark Elf. This should be substantially easier here. While Dnarii is going into Fabul here, take on the Fabul defense. We know that this is going to be a Pinktail that won't be able to do anything with quite yet, but will be very useful in the long run, as that is an objective and a good piece of gear as well. Also going to be able to turn in that check for Sheila 1. Since Dnarii has been underground, Eykir yet to do that. So yeah, Rosie using that Elven Bow is still able to do some decent damage, or excuse me, decent healing with her spells. Unfortunately, she's turned into a pig. She can't do any of that healing, so they're going to have to rely on items here to get through. Thankfully, the Elemental Barrage not doing too much damage. And Dnarii is through the Magus Sisters very quickly. Going to pick up his pink tail, and then we will take a look and see what if any, goods Sheila has this afternoon. So Dark Elf does have a couple of weaknesses, notably has a holy weakness. Fortunately, no real way to take advantage of it at this point. Now that it is transformed into a dragon, it actually loses the boss bit, so we can land the status effects on it. But over on Dnarii's screen, that's the Darkness Crystal from Sheila 1. She does indeed have the goods today. The entire world is open to Dnarii at this point. Most importantly, for the immediate future, that's another character check.
Okay, and I am back. Sorry about that, but, well, there are some things you just gotta deal with right away.
Yes, indeed. Life happens. No worries. We did have the Darkness Crystal at Sheila 1, so Dnarii has everything open to him. Immediately going to go and raise that Lunar Whale.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, with this character check still on the table, you want to go take a look there right away.
Yeah, not only are you hoping for Rydia for the objective, you're hoping for Rydia to make use of that Bahamut, because that is going to be a huge increase in power.
Yeah, alternatively, you could be hoping for a Fu, even an Edge. We don't have anything for him yet, but either one would be a big force multiplier right now.
Absolutely. Just too many good possibilities sitting up there on that lunar dais to pass it up.
Yeah, so we're just gonna poke our heads right up in there ASAP. I don't think we're gonna see a lot otherwise.
Eykir still slogging through this fight, doing the best he can with the sort of limited damage output that he has.
Yeah, the funny part is that, if this fight was just one slot later, it would be so much easier, not just for the slot being easier, but for having that light sword, which would just rip this to shreds. But it's down now. We are through.
Yep, Eykir heading into the Kluya Shrine for a key item, and most importantly, upgraded Cecil, and the start of a powerhouse offense for his team.
Gotta take a quick save first, just a little bit of wyvern insurance, and up here on the moon, we are about to see our character.
Oh, hello. That's a summoner.
Yes, that is. Very nice to have that very early. With that starting Bahamut, we are likely to see her alive and well and just nuking everything in her path.
And that's the Twin Harp on Eykir's screen. Do we have the makings of a jet seat here?
I think we might. I mean, that is 3 objectives located in 21 minutes. We
Plus
only need to do 4 of these 5, and that is a free fight on Ordeals. You hate to see it, folks.
Yeah, it is free in every sense of the word. There is a storyline script in this fight. As long as Paladin Cecil attacks after the second round of combat, it will immediately trigger the end of the fight. So that is just what Eykir is waiting for, to go ahead and take care of that instead of slogging through the relatively low 1000 HP here.
Yeah, like, alternatively, yeah, this spot does only have 1000 hit points, but that's a level 1 Cecil. Might as well just wait, and then conk him out for a quarter of his hit points. He goes ouch, and then he goes for a nice lie down.
Precisely. So yeah, as far as objectives go, correct me if I'm wrong, but we just need to find where the hook is, and this is go mode, isn't it?
Yeah, Hook would put us in go. Wait, not yet. Wait, yes. Hook would put us in go. Um, not a Hook would not put each of our runners in go yet because they've got different pieces. But it would certainly put us in no mode if we
No
could get a
mode, yeah,
Hook.
that's a better way to describe it. And we're giving Rydia every bit of magic increasing gear we have available to us right now. Want to get every bit of value out of Bahamut as we can.
Yeah, also keeping upgrading that shirt on Edward. I do like to see him put to work. And there's an Ogopogo. Looks like we're going for some initial levels on Rydia to try and get her up to that Bahamut threshold.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. This boss bot has very little HP, and you know Dnaari's breathing a sigh of relief to find Ogopogo here rather than somewhere nasty.
Yeah, this is one of the hardest bosses in the game. In high-end spots, it is absolutely brutal. Getting it out of the way here means it is at best a speed bump.
Yeah, the nice thing about it is its initial attacks are all HP based, so even Rydia with her measly 30 HP is able to survive just perfectly fine, gets 5 levels and all the associated MP with that, so she is well on her way to becoming the core of Dnaari's offense.
Yep, and we are likely to have a much faster trip through ordeals. Here's a question. What is Rydia's current max MP on Dnaari's side? Because he's got a Soma drop, too. It would
Yeah,
be possible to, if she's a little short, give her that much more oomph.
Yeah, you are absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's something I'd be tempted to do.
35 Soma drop won't do it, because Bahamut is, I believe, 60.
Yes, that's correct. But getting through this Odin fight should get her where Dnarii wants her to be. We'll see if all of that extra looting that he has done up to this point will make this fight any easier for him.
Honestly, even just having the Lit 1 cast available is going to help a lot on that Odin.
Yeah, that's a very good point. One of the rare instances of Lit 1 being useful, but...
Yeah, I mean, you've got this, you've got Keidatsu. That's 2.
That is 2.
But Odin is really a solid find for Dnarii here. He's really well set up for it. Gonna pop that Grimoire. But gets a mystery.
Yeah, not the best thing you can pull out of the Grimoire, but I'm not going to turn down 400 damage in a DPS race here.
Yeah. Mistdragon is based on your hit points. So if you have somebody who, with higher hit points, pop that Grimoire, you will get more damage. Meanwhile, Eykir has stopped avoiding that Forum, which might as well have a Forum. Fights these Dark Imps.
And now the big question is, what is waiting behind the Dark Imps? That's an Antlion.
Everybody loves Antlion.
This could be rough. This is a particularly punchy spot for Antlion, and you're going to have to deal with all of the counters if Cecil is going to be attacking. Rosa can bypass them with the aim command, but yeah, maybe that's what Eykir's going to do, is put Cecil on healing duty and have Rosa do the damage.
That's not much damage, though.
It is not.
Yeah, but that is a bit of a problem here. Like this, you know, it's not that bad if you put it off until later, but this is a nasty spot for as available as it is early on.
Yeah, and those 100 damage swings from Rosa just are not going to cut it in a spot that is 4,000 HP. Even Cecil, at his merely 400 swing, is going to take a while to do it. He can heal himself So, he's taken enough that he can survive. But this is going to be a war of attrition.
Yeah, I think here's where I try and sift through my inventory and see if there's any good J items. He likely has a Grimoire too, I think. No, he's an open out.
Yeah, don't blame Eykir at all. That is just a really rough situation. Antlion can be a surprisingly difficult boss depending on where he shows up, despite his really simple AI script. Just punching and counterattacking. When you got a spot that actually does decent physical damage, that can be all you need.
Yeah, and is a Porum really that worth it? I posit no.
Yeah, Porum definitely not the prize there. We're probably looking for whatever key item is that is behind her, but yeah, you've got the underground open. Let's go to greener and ironically redder pastures down here.
Yeah, we've got better things to do with our time, and honestly, I think, a really good skill in this game to pick up is just to go, this is not happening, I'm gonna go do something else. And both our runners have checked the Jaw Dwarf, so good for them. They know what the people want.
Indeed. And there's our dragon. 3.7 thousand damage is going to be enough to get through that spot with ease.
Yeah, just beating dragons with bigger dragons, and away we go.
It's dragons all the way down. While our runners are kind of catching up on each other's checks here, I'll go ahead and give a shout out to everybody behind the scenes here today. We have got Xenocat here working on the tracking, lighting up all the buttons, and Yabari doing the restream, making sure we can bring this match to you here today. So big shout outs to them. Thanks for all the volunteers that have been doing such an amazing job throughout this tournament, getting so many of these matches restreamed. Big thanks to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. We have had so many races go on throughout this league, so many races commentated, broadcast. We would not be able to do this without everybody on the team. Everybody's been doing so much work. And remember, too, even though next week, we are taking a week off from the league, let our racers in brackets get used to the new flags. So you're not going to see as much from us, but we do have our new ladder starting up, so there is going to be a ton of free enterprise on Twitch this coming week as everybody goes, hey, I would like to race some free enterprise. I will play on this ladder.
Yeah,
so that
definitely.
is starting up next week. Keep an eye out. You're going to see a ton of people playing.
Absolutely. And if you want to get involved with that, check out our Discord. We have links to our ladder. We've got our ladder running through a separate Discord and get you hooked up there. And yeah, it's just going to be a ton of fun. Really, really looking forward to all the diverse flag sets and everything we've got going on for that.
Yeah, we have a ton of different types of games you can play. We've got Mystery Seeds. We've got the Supermarket Sweep, which is a super cozy, friendly race. Great for newbies, great for people who are just looking for a relaxing flag set where you just need to get a load of stuff and go burr. We've got Push Beat a Jump coming back, which is a fantastic format. And say you're interested in this league, say these bracket flag sets that are coming up look good to you, but you're not in the brackets. How am I going to do anything with these bracket flags? Well, you can play them on the ladder, and maybe you're better than people actually in the brackets. There's a way to find out.
Eykir taking advantage of those sirens to get some early grinding in, get some levels on that Cecil, get him up to speed, and be able to do some serious damage with him. Meanwhile, Dnarii is heading into Baron Inn to take on those fights there. Got to imagine with Bahamut ready to go, Dnarii's going to have a much easier time here.
Yeah, that is gonna be a lot faster. That Bahamut will likely one-shot that antlion there, and this big Bob will just take these imps right out.
Down they go. That's going to save Rydia's MP for the next fight, so she can just unleash the dragon.
Eykir getting a lot of the good utility spells on his team. He has been surprised by that egg.
I mean, sometimes they just sneak up on you. It happens.
Yeah, just there somebody played an air horn and then there was this egg. I mean, I'd be surprised. Out comes the Bahamut.
And that is enough damage.
More than its max hit points. That's just fine right there. Our forum gives us a Sand Ruby.
Would have been a more exciting if we not already found both of our required characters. Still could be a good character there. I don't think anybody's been to Kaipo just yet, but there's still some great characters potentially in the pool. An Edge or a Fusoyo would be a fantastic pickup at this point. But yeah, already found all of our characters, so I'm not sure if that's going to be a priority or not.
I, for one, appreciate when Porum comes with a better character.
It's like a pity roll in a gacha game. I roll Porum, but at least I can trade my tokens in for whatever's here.
Yeah, and we are going to go check out who is there.
Dnarii's thinking about it.
Yeah.
Long pause there.
I mean, there's anchors aplenty to choose from.
Yeah, exactly. We've got that cursed ring, so you can go ahead and use Sid to do some middling damage here, and still just throw a cursed ring on him and be fine. Or you can just start offing him right now and use him as your anchor. Either way.
Ditching that Edward, though, rude.
Gosh, I hope Asuka's not watching.
I mean, somewhere Asuka just sits up. Her blood running ice cold.
Whenever an Eddie is dismissed, she feels a disturbance in the bard verse. Speaking of the bard verse,
she is working another race right now, so she will not know of this transgression against her.
Yeah, nobody spoil it to her. But yeah, speaking of bards, we are going to get some music here on Dnarii side, heading over to Cave Magnus to turn in that twin harp, get another objective on the board, and give us some sweet tunes in return.
Yeah, I would not necessarily be thrilled with doing it right now, but that Bahamut will punch through the magic defense on this spot. We are cursing the Porum, so it looks like we're going to use that Sid to hit things.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that right here, because this spot has such high magic defense. Getting some extra physical offense is not a bad thing. Eykir's heading into Dwarf Castle here, enticed by the character check, I'm sure, and is going to face Octomam as the first opponent. Not a great boss for Cecil to be going up against with that light sword, since Octomam is actually resistant to holy damage.
Yeah, I am not terribly thrilled by seeing that there, but we are going to Zerk him up. We'll chip through it.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like Eykir like storming ahead here, taking on these bosses, but unfortunately with Rydia being on the moon, I feel like every second he delays checking Sheila 1, he's getting just a little bit further behind Dnarii, just from the speed at which he can complete these checks.
Yeah, I mean, for all that I talked about liking the early Fagul play just as a matter of course, I think that's really coming to bite Eykir right here, because he went early. He doesn't feel a need to do that Sheila 1 until he's got a pad, most likely, so we are putting that off when that just delays getting that goal. right now, Dnarii is about to see the tragedy of that party as everybody goes down. We are gonna be rescued by the bard he cruelly tossed aside. Well, Golbez rudely taking over that music here, which I am told is from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It is... Where? Sewer Surfing.
Yep, classic from Turtles in Time, or Hyperstone Heist if you played it on Genesis.
Which is indeed the version I played. And, oh, we got an adamant from Dwarf, and while that fight was going on, we ran into the Mist Dragon.
Yes, that's pretty big for Eykir. He has a second Cecil now as well, and I believe has 2 lightsabers, so not a bad offensive spread for him. So make up for the fact that has not stumbled upon Rydia yet.
Yeah, I am sure he's feeling very good with his life choices right now, because that is some great finds right there.
Yeah, this is a nasty Golbez fight. Normally you can rely on Golbez kind of chipping away at himself with that reflect, but with the amount of magic it defends at this spot, not so much. But here comes Bahamut. That is going to do unethical amounts of damage, even despite that defense.
2,000, slightly less than 2,000 is a fairly ethical amount, I would say.
It's unethical for this spot.
And Bahamut does help do most of the work there. Golbez goes down.
And just a Dragoon Lance for the Mist Dragon turn in. And a package for Cave Magnus, so nothing terribly exciting there.
And heading down in for a reprise of that song, This is gonna be a lot harder without that Rydia.
Yeah, the one advantage is the two Cecil swinging lightsabers taking advantage of that holy weakness, but that's about the only advantage Eykir's going to have here. Also, the one of the few drawbacks Rosa has over Porum is does not naturally learn the exit spell, so Dnarii having to hoof it out the long way here.
Does his Cecil not have exit?
Actually, yeah, good point. I feel like he should have it by now. Maybe he does not.
Yeah. Heading over to check that package.
That's an edge. Not gonna take it though. I think probably just making sure there's no foo there.
Yeah, we do not have the gear for an edge. I think I've seen at most a single long sword. Yeah, he's checking his gear before going in, and he's not seeing anything he likes for that.
Yeah, real heads up play there by Dnarii there. Going through and making sure, can I support this edge? Not so much. Edge is ordinarily an auto pick, but now that we've got that C Neki flag in there, where characters will come in with lower tier equipment on, Edge is normally, outside of his weapons, kind of endgame ready with the sort of stuff that he comes equipped with, and that is not the case with this flag on, so he becomes a little bit less attractive in that sense.
Yeah, I think, the Neki flag has been one of the most interesting additions for character balance that we've seen. Because it does do things like it does give Edge a much needed initial nerf, and we also see how it improves characters with very marginal starts in terms of gear, like Sid does not start with much, Kane does not start with much, Dark Knight Cecil almost always improved by this.
But either way, let's surf a few more sewers here. And Golbez kills the music once more, but yeah, a little bit of difficulty for Dnarii here on this Octomam in Dwarf Castle here. Having to take the reset.
Yeah, it can be a lot if you're not quite ready for it, but now that we know what we're getting into, I'm sure this won't be a problem here for Dnarii.
We got some big damage on Eykir's side coming out from those holy swords, and Golbez goes down.
Yeah, getting that that kill with that light sword. Gonna get that package. Gonna find them out. Probably gonna find out that disappointment edge.
And Eykir taking advantage of the most useful spell the Noble Paladin has, the one that lets you run away very fast.
Yeah, I mean, you know, discretion is the better part of valor, and you know, with nothing left to fight, why stay?
Well spoken. Heading over to Fabul here, going to finally get the news that yes, Sheila has been holding the goods for quite some time here. And
Yeah,
that's going to be objective parity if Eykir decides to go up to the moon to check that character.
yeah, which, you know, I'm sure he's gonna feel like kicking himself a little bit when he sees this darkness, but, all told, I don't think he's lost too much time just for not having done that yet.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Our runners are very, very close to one another based on you know what they've done, how they've gone differently. This race still could go either way.
Yeah, absolutely. The worst that I think this has caused is a couple fights that were a little harder than for one player than another.
Yeah, so if you are in our runner spot here, what would be the next place would you check? Would you try to do a keyless tower? Would you try to head to the moon and look for spots there? What would be your game plan?
Um, Tower is tempting. How many key items do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably not going out of my way to grind yet. So yeah, I think I am personally looking at that tower. Alternatively, with Bahamut in play, because I would very likely have made that check already. I might be looking at that Dr. Luggage down in Feymarch. That's not going to be too bad to deal with on the Asura spot. Fast, but not terribly threatening.
Yeah, that's a very, very good point. We still have that in play, and then we've got the D-Lunars over down there in the Feymarch as well. You could use Bahamut against it. It does have that recovery ability that it'll use in counter to Bahamut, but might also be doable.
Yeah, I mean, Recover will do less than Bahamut. Plus 2, Leviathan's spot is slower than Asura, but it's not much slower. It is another prime spot just to pop a couple Star Veils, wait for that breath to come out, frog him, and then just unleash Bahamut.
Yeah, very good point. Antlion going down much easier this time, and Eykir is going to pick up that Sand Ruby. And Dnarii is through the Octomam fight. Little beat up and worse for wear, but see if interested in a second Cecil here.
I mean, I think it's hard not to be. And Bahamut will surely insta that Mist Dragon.
Eykir, however, not interested in Sid here today. Gonna leave him in the bed.
Yeah, and with that second Cecil, Dnarii is also, what are you here for? To that Sid.
And looks like Eykir, now that he's found a team he is more comfortable with, is going to pop a few more of these Sirens here.
Not a bad choice. It is rarely a bad idea to grind. And Dnarii is through. Gonna get that adamant very shortly.
Yeah, and once he has gotten that, it's going to be a very interesting to see where our runners decide to go.
Yeah, because right now we are in that awkward part of the seed where it's, you have some levels, but not a ton, and the world is open to you, and you're just like, I've got options, and I'm not sure I like any of them.
But more importantly, we have Rydia's adult sprite now, so we get that hair wobbling when she walks left and right. Big fan of that.
Oh, yeah. And her cute little wrap that she uses to keep warm because she does not have many clothes on.
Thank you for your design. Eager to turn in that bonus round. Probably going to be a little less eager when finding out it is just a Dragoon Lance and no Dragoon in sight.
And that is not much help to us right now, or likely at all in this seed. Eykir's still not going to check that character. Gotta head for Keyless Tower.
Yeah, I like the Keyless Tower play here. All the reasons you mentioned just is very attractive right here. Decent amount of experience from the boss at the top too, so don't count that out either. And yeah, it looks like Dnarii is going for it as well.
Yeah, looks like my guess is Eykir probably does not want to pop that whale until he's actually ready to consider doing things on the moon.
Yeah, do all of your moon in one go. If it is Rydia, you've got a strong team. You don't necessarily need to rely on her at this point. So yeah, I think you're absolutely right.
Yeah, like we are committed to this team. I think for Eykir, this Rydia is gonna be at most an anchor. And that too might be why he's not really worrying too much about that, about his character levels or his anchoring situation in general. He's got a curse ring that'll do for the meantime, and eventually you are going to get a level 1 anchor.
Yeah, right you are. Yeah, both runners skipping the chests here. Was some talk about it in chat. I got to imagine part of that is because you really don't have a character that can burst the alerts down in one turn. You don't have anything like a Thunderclaw that could do that. And I know I'm really hesitant to take those chests if those battles are going to become protracted affairs.
Yeah, they are not worth it at that point, and of course you can't really use magic on them. They've got really high defense. The other thing too is our gear is pretty good overall. You also don't want to waste time on those chests unless you're willing to take a variety of potential gear. Like, you don't crack it going, oh, I hope I get a crystal sword, but I won't take anything else. Because of course you're hoping for a crystal sword, but you're not super fancy to get one.
And a fight so free, it's two for one here as both runners in on the King Queen Evelyn fight simultaneously. And it looks like they both might be interested in trying to actually burst through the fight instead of waiting for the cutscene.
At this particular spot, my reaction is kind of good luck with that. This is a very marginal stat-wise location in all respects except for hit points, because it's got a ton of hit points. The vanilla spot is, of course, Dr. Luge, which is a 3-part boss, all combined into one, or in this case, 2 enemies. It's got a lot of hit points.
Yeah, even that, you can see that incredible damage from Bahamut is not enough to even get one of them down. Yeah, despite Eykir's constant damage, still is going to hit the cutscene trigger. Dnarii might be able to beat out the cutscene trigger, but even then, I'm not sure if there's really much, if any, time saved between the combat animations and everything.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty close. And to answer the question in chat of who's ahead, I personally don't like calling that very early. I would say Dnarii is probably a little bit ahead just because he has made that check on the moon to pick up that Rydia. But that's not a long check for Eykir to make.
Yeah,
So,
especially since all indication is leading towards the moon at this point. All that's left of those 2 checks in Feymarch that is immediately available, unless I am missing something. So we might see a committed moon play from either or both our runners pretty shortly here.
yeah, got that rat tail, does us no good without a hook. And of course, a hook will put Dnarii in go mode, and Eykir nearly into it. The question really is, if we hit up Feymarch before going to that mode, I think that's honestly a good choice, just because those fights are fine. And I am really big into it.
We get 1 trap chest here, check here from Eykir. And yeah, only 1900 damage from that Cecil. Need, I think it's somewhere in the realm of 1800 to one-shot the alerts.
Yeah, they are about the same as dragon eggs.
Ooh, Dnarii is going for the Feymarch play here. We do have that Dr. Lu guy you were talking about, so not a terribly difficult Feymarch boss. So yeah, this is very interesting. Oh, there's another Bahamut for Eykir. So. 2 Bahamuts for that Rydia he hasn't picked up yet.
A reminder, go to the moon. Go to the moon.
That's where Bahamut lives.
Yeah, double checking that that back row on that Cecil there.
Yeah, and changing out that crystal armor he had on. I saw at one point he had tried to berserk that Cecil, and it didn't take. Crystal armor is a fantastic piece of gear for Cecil, except for the little problem in that it actually blocks the berserk status from landing, which I'm sure the developers intended as a feature, but we know that berserk is actually good to use on your own team members, so it ends up causing more problems than anything else. And if you can use a different piece of gear on Cecil, by all means do so.
Yeah, and looks like both of our players going down to clear out that Feymarch. I do like this now. Just get it out of the way. This is not going to be hard. You don't want to leave this particular loose end hiding.
Boy, Frith points out something so good I had never considered in my years of playing this game, that the crystal armor is good in the pink puff fight.
Amazing.
Balnab goes Grr.
And Zessel is about to go grr and grr.
And here is Eykir going to be taking on the same fight here, so the parity remains.
Yeah, our runners have been neck and neck the whole way. Looks like we are trying the D-looters first.
I was wondering if this might have just been a scout from Eykir, because I think only Dnarii scouted it before. I could be wrong. Looks like Eykir is making a legitimate chance at it.
Yeah, I have no problem with just leaping right in on this, just because this is a joke fight.
Getting Blinks set up to deal with those dragon punches. And I think we might just be waiting out for some Lunar Frog strats here.
Yeah, that is my guess.
Eykir decides now is the time. And here comes the Reflect. If you've never seen this before, this was a strategy that became prominent in the free enterprise community when people realized that the D-Lunar's breath attack can actually be reflected.
Yeah, this is deep free enterprise lore. This was back in the original Highway to the Zenith Zone 1. One of our community members, name of Dipwood, was running into D-Lunars at the Rubicon spot. Had wall up by coincidence, and surprise, we learned that you can reflect these breaths.
Yep, that makes the fight basically trivial. They can't do any of their nasty stuff to you, and you can just sort of take them out at your own convenience. Attacking will, of course, make them try to do their virus reflect AI script, but frogs can't cast a virus.
Yeah, they are frogs. All they can do is sit there and look cute.
Oh gosh, 11 HP left on that Cecily. Gets the Cure 2 out to keep Dnarii in the fight.
Come on, you got this.
Yeah, not with the laser, unfortunately. Takes the reset.
Ouch. So near and yet so far.
Yeah, Lugat has some nasty tricks up his sleeve. He's not a boss that's considered terribly difficult most of the time. But you put him in a nasty spot like this, and he can be a bit of a formidable foe.
Yeah, still a very winnable fight, and I think, Dnarii is just going right back in.
Yeah, absolutely winnable. Just is going to take another crack at it. Making sure characters don't get statused when at the inopportune spot like they did last time.
Yeah, those counterattacks do not help.
While they finish up these fights, I just want to say I really love the fab palettes we have on display here. That Renault Iridia is one of my favorites, and I love the blonde-haired Dawn of Souls style FF1 Cecil as well.
Yeah,
and I believe that's a cameo from Scala Kitty herself on the Rosa.
I believe that is indeed our Scala palette. And of course, with that little cute black cape there, we do have a goth for him.
Have to have a goth version of every character. Just an hourglass from the D-Lunars. Definitely not indicative of the investment put in there.
Hey, merch, everyone. Getting that Bahamut off now on that Dr. Luge.
Yeah, the nice thing about this right here is with everybody poisoned, you can only have one status effect on you at a time in Final Fantasy IV, and there is a status priority. So that poison can actually be beneficial in helping sleep not stick on your characters. And honestly, the damage from poison is pretty inconsequential. So good to keep it on your team in this particular instance.
Yeah, that Rydia drops though while casting, which is most unfortunate. I think we're going to want to see her brought back up as soon as possible.
Unfortunately, unlike the character she's colored after, Rydia is not protected while she is summoning a Eidolon. But we're through the fight anyway.
And we'll see if this result is any better.
No, it's not. The moon is indeed vaunted, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that's, on the one hand, that's very disappointing. But on the other hand, with both of our racers putting the time into this, it's not a real loss for either of them, and now it's not hanging over their heads going, Oh man, that Fey March was really beatable. What if there's something there?
Yeah, it's gonna probably feel bad to both the runners. It might make both of them feel like they're behind right now, maybe thinking that the other their opponent didn't make that check. So it might incentivize them to play a little riskier here on the moon. We'll have to see. We are approaching hour and 10 minutes, and we have seen seeds completed this fast. I'm sure once we get closer to the 90-minute mark is when the pressure is really going to start to feel heavy on them.
Yeah, and I mean, that said, we are one item away from go mode here, so we are definitely in the home stretch. We just need to blitz through as many of these bosses as possible until we actually find what we're looking for.
Yeah, Legend Sword or a hook would be immediate go mode. There are a number of items still left unclaimed, though, that can gate another one. That temptation is going to be hanging over our runners to bail and check if they were to get one of those, something like the pan. So it's going to come down to routing decisions at this point. Rosa dropping a heal on Cecil there to get him able to be berserked up. Porum following right up with that berserk. And down goes Dr. Lugai.
Yep, gonna get his apple, which, as it turns out, does not keep the doctor away.
There's a great irony in that reward being there. Taking the save, and I believe Dnarii might be dropping a couple of sirens here for a grind on some gold dragons.
Yeah, that does seem to be the play here, which makes sense before really going into the tougher lunar spots.
Absolutely. Got those hourglasses. Go ahead and put them to good use. This is a fantastic amount of experience from this fight. Very, very quick way to get your team up and ready to go.
Yeah, like this is, I believe it is the biggest XP per siren you can get. There are often easier choices, and depending on setups, there can be more efficient choices, but if all you want is XP, and of course you have a means of just shutting these dragons down, yeah, the biggest that can be stopped, which is really the important thing, the biggest safe grind.
Yeah, definitely one of my favorite ways to grind. Eykir has turned in the Darkness Crystal, going to get Big Whale, head to the moon, and find that Rydia, and then it's off to the races here.
And King of Dragons coming out to show these King Dragons. Just what just showing them what for. Reminding them that's king as in goal, not king as in king.
Yeah, Berserk Cecil doing the dance that I am all too familiar with of, is this hit going to kill? Should I get the life potion ready or not?
Everybody's favorite move.
Yeah, one of the unfortunate things is there is no one in this party that is able to very easily deal with these dragons. You don't have anyone with the weak spell. You don't have Kane with the Dragoon Lance that can really tear through them, or any of the other really powerful anti-dragon weapons. Bahamut is kind of a big anti-everything weapon, but it is multi-target, and you want to take these down one at a time to get life potions on them to get the double experience for at least one of these dragons. So
Yeah,
kind of have to.
Yeah, especially without that 10 key items, you definitely need that life glitch.
Yeah, right you are. And there's Rydia for Eykir. Goodbye, Edward. I've got to imagine that we have a new anchor here.
Yeah, like where I did not like Dnarii doing it, I think it's perfectly reasonable here. No spoon in sight, no high tier bows in sight. Right now that Rydia has a new calling. We are using that Bahamut though, so we might get some use out of her.
Yeah, and putting gear on her, put a bunch of the magic increasing gear, so Eykir might be thinking of actually using her.
Yeah, which, yeah, no, maintaining that Porum anchor maybe? No, we're keeping her an anchor, so... But on the other hand, we do have a cursed ring, so she does have some room to gain some levels.
Yeah, that's a very good point. That cursed ring does mean that you can use team members. You don't have to be as babysit their agility as much as you would with some other with characters without it. So that cursed ring is just really good at just making anybody an anchor whenever you need them to be.
Yeah, and I mean, the nice thing about both Bahamut and Nasura is that they have incredibly high spell power. You, of course, want, if you want to get maximum performance, you want as much out of as many levels as possible. But also, it's not. You can still get performance out of them at lower levels.
So, did anyone in chat order some lag?
Oh, yeah, no, that's me.
Okay. Yeah, the counterfire 2 is not hitting for too much. It's substantial enough that it is going to need to be healed. And unfortunately, our healer was the one that got nailed with that first glare. So Dnarii's going to have to do a little bit of recovery here.
Yeah, like I'm never super thrilled by berserking on Rubicant. It is doable at this spot with the lower magic power, but we're going to want that Rosa back up to patch everybody.
Yeah, Dnarii going to take a reset and rethink this strategy as Eykir goes into the fight for the first time. And it's just amazing how close these runners have been keeping to one another this entire race. I really, really love to see races like this.
Yeah, like they have been on each other's heels the whole way through. Pretty much neck and neck right now, equal completion. Like these players are fighting for their lives in this league here, and they are playing like they mean it.
Yeah, there really hasn't been any decision made by either runner that could be objectively called a bad play. They've both been, yeah, like you said, playing like they mean it. This is a really good one. Really, really stoked to see how it's going to end up because these are two very equally skilled runners, given it their all. So definitely show both of them some love. We have got their links right there. Both excellent free enterprise players, so definitely check them out.
Yeah, absolutely, incredibly worth watching here.
Yeah, that's got to be an ice brand on that Cecil hitting that hard with Rubicant's cloak open there.
Yeah, I believe that is, and that is a great tool for this particular job.
Yeah, it's a mid-tier weapon. In some of the more difficult flag sets, it could be the best sword you can get for Cecil, but really, really shines in this fight when you can take advantage of that elemental weakness. And now it's Eykir's time to take a reset and rethink his approach to this fight. Fights like this always nasty when you get them on the moon. They take advantage of those increased stats very, very well. And the fact that this boss does both punchy attacks and magic attacks means that you can't just rely on something like cheesing through with Cecil's cover and protect strats. Got to kind of account for everything he's capable of. And yeah, that's another reset for Dnarii.
Yeah, this is, this is a really hard boss at the best of times, and with so many hit points at this spot, this is another location where, the vanilla fight had 2 mobs there, so we are combining their hit points here, and it is not easy with a boss like this.
Yeah, I really like the determination here from Dnarii going right back into the fight. But you got to wonder, at what point do you back off, check the other bosses and the other spots down here? It's so tempting here because not only do you get 2 key item checks, but a ton of experience from this spot. But there's a large consolidation of key items down here. Even if you're not getting the 2 for 1 in the other spots, there might be an easier boss lurking there.
Yeah, and Dnarii's Rydia getting sniped again.
Yeah, that's really rough since that is just such a cornerstone of his offensive output right now.
Yeah. Xenocat in chat saying, "Hey, we'll spread out that Dragoon gear. We do have multiple pieces." So
yeah, that Dragoon gear gives you full elemental resistance to all 3 of the fire, lightning, and ice. Can be very, very useful if utilized in a fight like this. Oh, goodness gracious, this moon is savage!
Oh, no, not you.
This is a fight that Dnarii is going to be much better equipped to deal with. Bahamut can just pierce through not only the wall that Baigan is going to put up on itself, but also both of his arms whenever they're up, without reliable access to multi-target moves on Eykir's side. He's going to struggle with this a good bit, I feel.
Yeah, and Dnarii is saved by the script. Wow.
Nice going by Dnarii there, finally getting through. This is a big check here. 2 chests. We just need 1 of 2 key items to put Dnarii into go mode. A party rod and a Stardust rock. A party rock. A party rock and a Stardust rod.
I would call a Stardust rod a party rod.
It is very much a party rod for Rydia. That is a 15 point bonus to wisdom. That's going to make Bahamut hit even harder. So yeah, she's going to like that in any upcoming boss fights.
Yeah, and that is going to help a ton with that Baigan. Which I don't, Eykir does not really seem to be in trouble here. It's just annoying. You basically got a 1 in 3 chance of any of these swings being a dud.
Yeah, this is the very definition of a slog right here.
Yeah, Baigan is never fun. And we are clearly seeing why here.
See, as we mentioned earlier, the Earth Crystal is one of those items that could gate another key item that we need. But at this point, that is, with so many checks left, probably not tempting Dnarii in the slightest.
Yeah, like in both cases, we are looking for a single key item, a single terminal key item. We're gonna want these chain items, but by and large, we are going to just sweep through everything in the hopes that it's not behind the chain.
Dnarii persevering here, making sure that Rydia is protected. She represents just basically his entire offensive output at this point. Team is going down. You got to hope that you're getting close to the end of the fight here. There goes Cecil. Bahamut comes out. This has got to end things.
It's possible with how much damage we've done, but this is going to be tight. Eykir is through. Dnarii is not. But we,
And
yeah,
yeah,
gotta
gotta
take that
have to take the
reset.
reset there, unfortunately.
Oh.
Not progression, but you gotta be happy if you're Eykir.
Yeah, hard to complain too much about that one. That is the Crystal Sword, the best weapon in the game, full stop. Asterisk, except for the spoon.
Of course, the spoon doesn't come with the massive stat bonuses that the Crystal Sword comes with.
Yes, higher attack power, but I think that Crystal Sword is still better overall, not least because it goes on a... I love Eddie, it goes on a better character.
And looks like we're going to bypass... Oh, no, it looks like just going for a grind. He was thinking maybe might be going over to the Crystal Sword altar, but no, just going up a couple floors to take on a couple of these King Ryus, get his team a little bit more powerful, so that the Crystal Sword Cecil can burr even harder.
Yeah, because like that Rubicant has got to be burning a hole in Eykir's head right now. Eykir's head right now, sorry.
Absolutely, and this Crystal Sword Cecil, you can see the damage going out here. Much easier to deal with these King Ryus when you have somebody able to output that much damage.
Yeah, absolutely. And just down they go. Cool 90k XP.
That was so nice. Let's see it twice. Going in for another fight.
Yeah, just using the last of those hourglasses.
I like the blinked Cecils here, being able to use those cover strats effectively. Not going to help again. Yeah, okay, we are down. Excellent. So Dnarii has gotten through Baigan as well. Is going to pick up his Crystal Sword. And yeah, we're looking at some big damage here.
Yeah, that should just smooth out the fights a whole lot here. Eykir tenting up.
You've got to imagine Eykir has got his sights set on that Rubicant in the D-Lunar spot. Because as we said, 2 key items there. So I've got to imagine that's where he's heading.
Yeah, is he... Wait a minute, I got that one.
that was my party sword. Everything's a party today. Saturday.
I mean, it's Saturday, it's the last day. Let's all have a party.
Question in chat, when do the brackets start? They're going to start the week after next. Next week is going to be an off week for our competitors so that they can get used to the new flag sets. We will be starting the ladder play next week to stand in for that. But then the week after next, we will be going full into the bracket stage of the tournament.
And at the Ogopogo spot, swimming around in Lake Okanagan here is a Leviathan.
Wrong palette.
Yeah, not quite a nope rope, more like a rope.
Yeah, definitely going to want to set wall up here on your critical characters because those Ice 2s are going to hit quite hard here.
It's true, but You know, the king of the summon monsters being shown the god of the summon monsters. Which Leviathan is not thrilled by, so he takes out the healer.
Yeah, Rosa maybe not, might have been the best of these characters to take the brunt of that, all things considered, outputting the least amount of damage here, and damage is what you want. There are a lot of HP in these lunar spots, and you want to chew through it as quickly as possible. And Dnarii is through.
Yes, and what do we have here?
Ooh,
Oh, spicy.
that is indeed. That represents 2 key items. And I'm a huge fan of the pan. That would be tempting to do a save scum of and at least take a look at the contents behind.
Yeah. Like Pan and Earth Crystal, I'm definitely at least strongly considering exiting out. Looks like Dnarii is not, which is also very valid. You've got 2 more checks here in the subterrane. You don't really want to leave them hanging. And Eykir also gets that script kill on the Rubicant.
Yep, going to be able to pick up his party rod, though no one that's really going to be able to utilize it to as good effect as Dnarii has right now.
Yeah.
Checking him for the back for good luck. I like it.
Yeah, no, I mean, makes sense. Get a little bit of that hinge on that crystal.
All right, so it's been a particularly rude moon so far. 2 out of 3 of them being pretty nasty bosses. Let's see what the Crystal Sword Altar has in store. We've got an Evil Wall.
Oh, I don't like that.
Not a fan. This is an extremely punchy spot, and Evil Wall is an extremely punchy boss. I think this is the highest attack power
Yep.
of any of the spots, if I remember my math correctly.
Yep, I believe it's tied on a few different spots, but this is one of them.
Yeah, and really showing that off here. This team is getting bruised, and yeah, Dnarii is going to reset out of that.
Yeah, that's, you know, keep your treasure, or lower your battle speed. I just need to step away for 1 second. I will be back shortly.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Eykir in on the Leviathan fight here, putting that Crystal Sword to good use for a cool 4.6k. Going a little bit slower than Dnarii did, just because does not have access to that Bahamut that Dnarii does, but still going to be making sushi out of Leviathan very quickly with those Paladins. And round 2 against the Evil Wall here with Dnarii with battle speed lowered. Gosh, that hits so hard. Rosa taking about half of her HP pool in damage there. And you can see how fast it's going. Rosa is still chanting that spell. And there's the pan for Eykir. Let's see if he decides to continue on the moon or if he is going to make a gamble on those pan checks. I know the pan is looking more and more attractive as we look at this Evil Wall, just absolutely devastating Dnarii's team here. And yeah, we are going to see a save scum from Eykir, putting down a save in the lunar subterrane, going to exit out and head back to the blue planet. This is a major divergence here that could make or break this seed. All eyes on what that pan is going to pay out with here. Cecil's got a blink up, but the rest of the party is down. You got to be hoping you're getting close to the end of Evil Wall's HP pool here. And got it! Just clutches it out. Great job there for Dnarii. Excellently getting through that fight. This is a huge reveal here. We have got a Baron Key, another potential rabbit hole back on the blue planet. And we are exiting out with Dnarii. Whether this is just to go back to the top of the lunar subterrane or we're heading to the blue planet, we'll find out soon enough. And Dnarii is also leaving the blue planet. Says, I have had enough of this moon. I have enough things to check back there. Let's go start turning this in. This is such a close race. And the Sylphs have got themselves the Legend Sword. That's go mode for Eykir. That is a huge pull. Dnarii, hot on his heels, is about to turn it in himself. We're going to have a showdown at Zeromus, folks. Hold on to your seats. This is going to be a close one. That means both runners are going to have an Excalibur Cecil. Both runners are going to have a Crystal Sword Cecil. This is going to be an incredibly high damage Zeromus fight. This is close. This could go either way at this point.
Oh man, here we go.
Yes, came back just in time. This is a race now.
Oh boy. And just to answer in chat, we do need
Crystal
four
Sword for sale? I saw Crystal. I didn't see if it was a ring or another sword.
It's sword is tier 7. That has to be a ring.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Okay. We couch my excitement a little bit there.
I mean, crystal rings are pretty exciting.
All right, and then heading back over. No pass for either of our runners, so they're going to have to take the hike back through the lunar subterrane here. Very equivalent party setups here. We've had that, been relying on that Rydia for so long for Dnarii. Rydia is not going to be of use in the Zeromus fight unless Dnarii decides to grind her up to nuke, and that is a lot of experience to get there.
Yeah, grinding up to nuke, we'll lose the race for Dnarii. Full stop. Eykir does not appear to be stopping. We are just going, and Dnarii just realized he's still on battle speed 6.
Yeah, we don't know if Eykir still has the option of those gold dragons if he wants to do any extra grinding. I didn't get a look at the level of his characters right now, but I've got to imagine if he's not at the point where he can take on Zeromus, he's got to be close.
Yeah, he did use up all his hourglasses. I don't think he went to get more at any point. So my guess is he's just gonna go for it. Which I mean, it's 136 in. This is you're on the verge of elimination. You just go.
Yeah, and that's going to be the big difference here. While Dnarii stays back here to do these grinds, will, as a result, potentially have a smoother Zeromus fight. But is that going to make up? Is Eykir going to have a straightforward fight? If he stumbles a bit, momentum swings back over to Dnarii, who's more likely to one-shot Zeromus here. This is so close. This is so close.
Yeah, Dnarii is hoping for, needs a wipe here.
And we are through on Eykir's side, dropping down the save. Yeah, level 44 on that Cecil with Excalibur. The other with a Crystal Sword. That's about where you want them. And I believe that Rosa at 46, I believe that's high enough to have Cure 4.
Yeah, we watched her get Cure 4.
Yeah, we did. So yeah, you're absolutely right. Eykir absolutely ready to go here. And yeah, Dnaarii's still grinding. Dnarii, I obviously does not know the situation, but really needs to get going to that moon. Dropping those apples on Rosa, very good call. Get her HP as high as possible. You definitely want her surviving big bangs.
Yeah. Radio learning Fatal. I think we are going for Nuke, which I appreciate the sentiment, but
yeah, it's a lot of experience to get there. Granted, it is a lot of damage Rydia is going to do, but when you've already got two Cecils with the two best swords in the game, and you've got Rosa to back them up, I feel like the nuke is overkill at this point.
Yeah, you berserk those boys and you let them go. And what is going on in chat right now?
Well, you were talking about how tired we were earlier, and I think everyone wants to take us a nap. I think that's the joke we've been running into the ground with the Z flags.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, mid-afternoon nap sounds like a plan to me. But
no, that's not what it means at all, Neon Gray.
Gasp!
It turns out that randomizing Zeromus into the general boss pool is a bad idea, but we still want to keep things random around here. So we let Zeromus take on a number of different forms. So every time we fight Zeromus, it's time for us to ask,
whose butt are we gonna kick this afternoon?
Indeed, it is butt time. Initial setup here from Eykir. The crystal is thrown. The true colors are revealed. And today's foe is...
It's you!
I want to say this is from Phantom Brave?
It does look like the NIS house style, yeah.
Yeah. Someone in, Entheo saying Phantom Brave, so I feel justified now.
Yeah.
Boy, if you want to cry, that's a game. That is a game.
And the new PC re-release just about to hit, along with Soul Nomad, which has never been re-released before.
That is very, very exciting. I love me some strategy RPGs. But yeah, you can already see the burr in place here as these Cecils go to absolute town here. Rosa is just going to be there providing support.
Yeah, letting these Zerker boys go. Right now, Dnarii is very much hoping for Eykir to get that combo platter.
Yeah, the Big Bang into Meteo is always an ever-present threat in the Zeromus fight. It is just so difficult to time things like this. And having your characters brought low from Big Bang and that almost inescapable 1,000 damage from Meteor, unless you get real lucky on a magic save, can spell the doom of any prepared team. So this is far from over. There's definitely, it's in Eykir's court right now, but one wipe and Dnarii is right back into this.
Yeah, I don't think it's super likely here, but it is. You are very much running the risk when you're running 2 Zerkers as your damage core. But I think the numbers feel fine. But
I never trust numbers. Numbers never feel fine to me. I always play from the heart.
Numbers love you, and they care about you, and they want you to be happy.
There is our second Big Bang. Very low roll on Rosa. That's what you like to see. This should be recoverable. The only concern is there is no concern because that's the flash. Eykir has won it with a time of 1 hour, 42 minutes, and 42 seconds, going to 4-2 and surviving to move on to the bracket stage of the Lali-Ho League. GG's to Eykir on an excellently played race.
GG, fantastic work. Incredibly tight race the whole way through. Just edged it out right at the end, and I do believe that is the sound of Eykir joining us right now.
GG.
GG, congratulations. A lot of Cecil love this seed here.
Take that. I mean, Cecil go Burr.
Yeah.
I mean, how are you feeling after all that?
Oh, I thought it was sunk mid-game when I cleared the Earth and there was nothing at like Baymarch and nothing at the tower. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so behind. Because
this will be a fun one for you to watch back then. One of the great things about this is you and Dnarii were in the same space at the same time almost the entire seed. It was just parity back and forth between you. So yeah, I know you get to that 80-90 minute mode and the pressure is on, but you were neck and neck. This was a fantastic race to watch.
Well, I'm glad it was a good one. We put on a good show.
So yeah. What was the decision? What kind of made your decision to go and try to clear that Baymarch out before committing to the moon?
It was the only things I had left there. I knew I could take them. When I first went there, I couldn't take the 3-person party I had. I wasn't comfortable with that. They weren't going to survive the Lunar Dragons. So I know they're going to be pretty easy fights with Berserkers and the 2-pace fight that is Dr. Luge. So I wanted to just quick clear them out. Who knows if they had the items? If they do, then I'm just Iridia from go mode. And then it could just be go get Darkness, take my Darkness to the moon, get Iridia if she's there, and go to Zeronis, or level and go to Zeronis. Didn't turn out that way. There was nothing there except a nice 100 hit points for Rosa.
Hey, she appreciated those. You never have enough hit points going into Zeronis.
Very true, especially on her.
Another routing decision was bailing from the moon and going to go check the pan. Was there like a critical mass of key items you were looking for before you were going to abandon the moon, or what was kind of your philosophy going in to what was like the breaking point for tempting you away from finishing the rest of the checks?
The pan. Really, the pan is 2 quick key item checks on Earth. You can save, you go do them. If they don't lead to anything, you just reset your back. That was the plan. If I ever found pan, it was go there. I got the Earth Crystal first, and that was not enough to tempt me away. I wasn't going to do that. It's too long. We needed 1 key item out of 2, and that's too long for that key item. But the pan checks are really fast, so leaving is, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes for checking both of them, 3-4 minutes. I don't know the exact time, but they're quick, and that was the important part.
Yeah, no, that is completely fair. How did that feel, having that Darkness on the Sheila one and the Iridia up there? Because I know you held off on going to see her for quite some time.
I did, and yes, I wanted to clear the Earth first. I figured Iridia didn't have a whole lot of places left where she could be. There was the Giant, there was the Moon, there was the Earth Crystal, and Baron. Because I had checked, the Sand Ruby, and I checked the package, and neither one was her. So I was hoping she was going to be on Moon. If not, then I'm looking to the Moon for key items then to see if I can just find my key items or find a thing that would get me her. And Earth Crystal would have been nice if she hadn't been up on the Moon. I might have left for that then instead of following up with the hook, or not the hook, the ban.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And that is rocks on Dnarii's side.
Yeah, very close to finishing up as well. You went into this match 3-2 on both of you on the edge of elimination. Did that have any effect on how you chose to route and what decisions you made throughout the seed?
A little bit on the early game. I wanted to get my early game going, and we did not have a good early game. We had Cecil, Edward, and and Rosa, and there was not a lot of power there. So the goal was just get Cecil online, and then see where I can go from there, just to get the power I needed to clear the sea quickly. Because I've had a lot of jet seeds recently, and I was afraid this is going to be another one.
It was looking like it for a little bit, and then everything ground to a halt. But yeah, with that win today, advancing to 4-2, punches your ticket to move on and keep competing over in the bracket stage. How are you feeling about that? You got a week off to prepare. What's sort of your mindset going into that, and what are you looking forward to over on the other side?
I'm definitely going to need to prepare. I haven't even looked at the flag set for brackets. I've been too worried about trying to get through this one. I've had 2 elimination matches in 2 weeks. Yeah, so it's just going to be... I'm going to be practicing a lot next week on those bracket flags. See what the differences are. It'll be fun.
Sounds
I'm
good.
just looking forward to whoever I face in the first round.
We'll definitely be looking forward to it. I can't wait to see you competing over there. You're always a joy to watch, Eykir. So thank you so much for putting on a great show here today, and we'll see you in the next stage.
Thank you, Smapey. Thank you, Neon Gray, Eagle, for the commentary, and the tracker, Xenocat, and Nayobari, the restreamer. Thank you all very much.
Oh, and thank you for putting on a great show. And I do believe we're also joined by Dnarii.
Hi.
Hello, GG to you.
GG. And GG's to Eykir too. He did what I should have at the end.
GG, Dnarii.
Yeah, ultimately that was the big deciding factor between you two, was just how long you grinded there at the end. What was kind of going through your mind? Did you just really feel more comfortable getting to the nuke level on Rydia? What was kind of your approach there?
I think it literally was a big complete brain gap, because I had Crystal, I had Excalibur. I didn't need to do hybrid, but I thought I needed to anyway. And I finished the Z fight, and I'm like, why did I do this? But that was it was just more than I needed, and I realized it after. All I could say is maybe race nerves. That, and not, Eykir and I did talk, and he did, when he got the pan, he made a save and went out and checked it. I thought about doing that. I really thought hard about doing that, but I'm like, I've only got the pan and Earth. It's about the same amount of checks. Let's do one more altar. If I hadn't done that...
Yeah, that was a rough altar too. Just the game in general was really rude, and it just nasty fights all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Wall, Bygone, Ruby, Neobari, we'll have words about this seed later.
One of the main differentiating factors through the run was you made the early check to Moon and utilized Rydia throughout the whole seed. Were you kind of hoping she'd be up there originally? Was she, since she was part of the objectives? What were you kind of fishing for there on the Moon when you made that early check?
When I went to the Moon early, it was because I wanted anybody else. I mean, if it was Rydia, great, that's fine. But at that point, I wanted anybody else. That party was hard in the beginning.
Yeah, not a lot of power there whatsoever.
Yeah, and then finding Rydia, it was just like, ooh, Rydia, I have a Bahamut, let's get her some levels. So, Miss K, Fabul, and then Bahamut's online. At that point, there wasn't much I was afraid of for a while.
Yeah, I know she was a great carry for a lot of that game for you.
So, it brings you to 3-3, which unfortunately means it's the end of the tournament here for you. Did you have any kind of overall feelings on the event? You played wonderfully throughout it. Just kind of what was sort of your general experience like? Are you looking forward to maybe doing some of the ladder competition next week?
Well, I'm thinking hard about the ladder. I mean, this was my first tournament for Free Enterprise ever, and I only started playing it earlier this year. I got into this thinking, hey, if I win a game, I'll be happy, and I made 3-3. So I think I might continue on with this. I'm having a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because 3-3 is way better than my first record, my first tournament. So you're off to a great start there.
Yeah. I mean, it's better than I've ever done, and I've been doing this since Zima Zone 1 and before that. So you're doing great.
I appreciate it. I mean, I know I make a lot of mistakes, and you guys saw every single one of them today. But yeah, I'm going to continue on with this. I might take a break for a while. I looked at those bracket seeds, and while I would have loved to have been in bracket, I am sort of glad I don't have to slog through that. Because that they're something else. But yeah, overall, I'm fairly happy with what I've done in a few months.
Awesome. We're happy to hear that. Like I said, it's been a blast watching you this tournament. I can't wait to see, when you come back to the game, what you've got for us in the future. So, thanks so much for broadcasting it for us tonight, showing everybody what you've got, and congratulations on getting as far as you did. You played wonderfully this tournament.
Thanks, and thank you guys for putting it on. It's been a really well-run tournament. I've been very happy with all the staff and the streamers. Well, when they roll nice seeds, commentators, all of that. It's been great all the way around.
Awesome. So happy to hear that. Well, you take care, Dnarii, and of your weekend. And again, GG's on your finish here tonight.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Take care.
Yeah, GG.
Well, don't go anywhere because we have got more free enterprise here for you today. Another elimination match, 2 more runners with their tournament lives on the line. We've got Area versus Vitasia. That's going to be over on Randomania 3. No need to touch that dial because we're going to send you right over there as soon as we sign off.
Yeah, should be starting in a little over 5 minutes, so just get cozy, refresh your drinks, just get ready to curl up and watch, and then after that, we also have one more race going on at 6 o'clock Eastern Time. That will be on Free Enterprise, and that will be our last restreamed race. Do have one more coming after that. That will be not restreamed, but you can absolutely watch. You'll want to look at the Lali-Ho matches just to refresh on where everything is. That is in our Discord. But yeah, go stretch your legs, go get a fresh drink, and let's get ready to watch Area Invitation.
Absolutely. So for the rest of our broadcast team, Xenocat doing our tracking, Nyobari doing the restream, and my wonderful co-commentator, Neon Gray, I have been Smeepy. Thanks so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of the day of matches. Take care, folks.